and the statistics, yeah, mathematical techniques, yeah, quantitative techniques will be used to implement those economic principles, economic laws in engineering decisions. So engineering economics is not a separate branch of economics, rather it is a club of these three. Some part of micro, some part of macro, and again the application of statistical techniques, yeah, quantitative techniques. So as you come to the special, this blend of a paper, it is a paper blend of some many things, blend of micro, blend of macro, and statistics. So coming to the origin of this particular course, engineering economics, a civil engineer, A.M. Wellington, USA-based civil engineer A.M. Wellington, in fact, introduced this concept first in the railway location in 1887. But he is not treated as the father of engineering economics because it was not so popular, it was not coming out significantly. But the person who made it popular and gave a special identity to this one is E.L. Grant, who is also a civil engineer and is also US based. Okay, so he is the first person to apply compound interest formula to compare long-term investments. Because as you know, while we go for any investment in the business production, let's say purchasing a machine, huge machine, for that you have to spend a huge money, and that money is called as investment. So while you are going for investment, we have to see how much money we are spending on that, the course of what we are spending on that. Then we will see that if we make this money compounded as per the market rate of compounding interest, how much money we will get during the life. Let's say a machine is having lifespan of 10 years. Means for 10 years you have to use this machine in the production process. So if we put that money, what we are paying for purchasing that machine in the bank and calculate the interest on compounding interest formula, how much money we are going to get after 10 years. 10 years why? Because you are presuming that the machine's life is 10 years. Then within these 10 years, how much money, how much revenue we are going to generate in our company through this particular machine, that we will estimate. We will compare that if the estimated return what I am going to get from this machine by using it in the production process of my company is not much higher than what I am going to get as return from the bank's deposit, then probably I will not think that this investment is going to be a good investment because I'm taking risk, I'm spoiling my time, using my intellect. Still, if I'm getting the that much return only, what I am going to get from bank, then why should I go for the investment? So therefore, Grant, being the civil engineer also, he introduced this concept, this compounding interest concept in the comparison of long-term investment, and he is treated as the father of the engineering economics. So this is all about the introduction chapter of economics. And next from the opportunity cost, that already we have discussed in the last class. Have you done na opportunity cost?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this is all about the introduction chapter of this course. We have discussed origin of economics, definition of economics, then human wants we discussed. A caselet we analyzed and we make three concepts: scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost. So this is all about the first chapter. Now we'll move on to the next chapter. This is the real chapter in true sense. That is the demand. So let us go to the white screen. Demand. Demand already we have discussed because only one of the classes we have discussed desire, want, and demand. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So demand we discuss. So if you define demand, it means the product what we are purchasing for our consumption. Okay. Uh, we can say that the quantum of goods or services that we are purchasing for consumption at varied prices. Means price is given at a particular price, how much, let's say commodity X only. Price is 10 rupees. So at price 10 rupees per unit, how many X we are demanding? That is the demand for that product. Okay. If I am demanding, it is individual demand. If I add the demand of all the individuals who are demanding commodity X, then that will be the market demand for the commodity X. Okay. So before going to discuss detail of this demand concept, I would like to know from you, what is the importance of studying demand for any product? Because you are going to, after completing the BTech program, you are going to either do a job in the technical field, or you can go for self-employment, or you can go for higher studies. Then the point that generally comes to your mind is that what is the importance, what is the relevance of studying this demand as a concept in my BTech program? Demand is demand for a product. Can you please explain?
So it can tell us about how much profit we can gain from a demand. If a demand for a product is very large, then if we invest in that product, we can get greater returns from it. So I think that is the reason why we are learning about demand. Also, if we know about the demand of a product, we can create an sub line of that product which can also get successful. So we can get a new demand for a new product which is created to the old product. So we
Very good.
continue the demand. So like that.
Yeah, good, very good. So anybody, anything else?
So
Sir,
if we know the demand of a product, means then we can know that how much we should produce. And also, if we know the demand of consumers, then we can also go for the customer satisfaction, which is the main motto of our of commerce or economics.
But I am asking related to your background, your technology background. So, being a technical student,
sir,
why should you learn this?
Sir,
Ah,
being engineering students, we study languages like C language, Python language. So the demand of market currently is like Python is very easy. So market demands Python. So people will study Python or will emphasize on what market demands by time. So that
very
is
good,
why.
very good, very good. Means whatever knowledge you are going to gain, whatever language you are going to learn, that also depends upon the market demand, as you rightly said. One more point, if you are going to suppose work in any organization producing any goods or service, most of you will be producing services, because from computer science, most of you will be producing services. So you are producing and developing a service. So if that service is not demanded in the market, in spite of putting all the efforts, concerted efforts, best features, if it is not demanded in the market, then your company, your organization, and your effort will not be appreciated, will not be sustainable. Therefore, although you are not selling the product, selling the service, but the marketing department, a sales department, plays a vital role for the success of the organization. In spite of producing the best product, best service, if at all the marketing department could not market it properly, could not promote it properly, and for their negligence, the product didn't get the appropriate place in the market, then definitely the company will lose. So therefore, in spite of having all technicalities or best features in the product and service, to get a good return, it should be marketed properly, it should be demanded appropriately. So demand plays a vital role for the success of any organization, be it a commodity product industry or service industry. Most of you will be doing service, not in the product sector or service sector. So demand we have to study. Then question comes, whether a commodity's demand will be more or less depends on what? Means what are those factors that influence the demand for any commodity, any product? It will be more or less depends on what. You don't confine yourself only to software product. It can be any product, our day-to-day consumption product.
So number of suppliers or number of
Number of
available products.
availability, very good.
So willingness of the people to buy that product. So
preference या willingness. Okay.
Yes.
Then there are n number of factors.
Can,
Hmm? You told something. We are
sir,
discussing.
it can,
Your voice is
can I?
not. What?
So it also depends over the cost and the availability of the that product. So
Availability is there. Cost.
and then cost.
Cost. As a
Quality.
one minute. I will come to that. As a consumer, you are concerned about cost or price. You told cost, no. As a consumer, you are not concerned about because consumer creates demand, no. So demand will be more or less depends upon cost or price.
Sir, will
Price.
it depend on quality?
Price. No, quality will come. I am coming. In this cost, in place of cost, will write price.
Okay, sir.
Then you told quality. Quality. Very good. Then
Sir, it may be off topic, but we have to advise the project to advertisement of the product to increase
yeah,
the
yeah,
quality.
important promotion.
Sir, can it be durability of the product?
Yeah, longevity and durability. Anything else? I am looking for three important variables. There are many factors that influence demand. I am looking for three important factors. Already one factor you have told. Out of those, one is price. Price of the product. Oh, good. Price. Two more yet to come. All of it is try. It will definitely come from you. Whatever points you have mentioned, all are important for influence the demand. But out of those,
Easily accessible.
accessible. Okay, accessible. Okay, it is a good point, but it is not in the three important points. Accessibility. Accessibility. Anything else? The demand will be more.
Can it be the means environmental user friendly or the product user friendly? Can it also?
User friendly or not? Maybe quality may be capturing that, no? User friendly.
Need of time, sir.
Need for time. Okay, need. Okay. User friendly, you can put that in a quality point, or you can create one more point also, no issue. But it is not the. Anybody else? No. Suppose price is less. Yeah, price is reasonable. But people don't have purchasing power. Then will demand be more?
No, sir.
No,
So
sir.
therefore, second important factor is income. Income of the consumers. First point is price of the commodity. Second is income of the consumer. Third will be, because I was expecting income you will definitely tell, but third is bit difficult telling that one. It is the price of other commodities. Demand for a commodity depending upon the prices of other commodities which are related to it. Like you can say, let's say tea and coffee. Suppose coffee's price decreased, what will happen to demand for tea? So can you tell? Coffee's price
So decrease
decreased. Why?
because of coffee's price decreased. its
So because
demand will
demand
increase.
for coffee is more, thus its price decreases. So people are drinking more coffee. Because of that, people are drinking less tea, and because of that, the price of tea will lower because they want to sell the tea. But
Yeah,
still,
because some of the tea consumers will switch their consumption from tea to coffee because coffee is now cheaper. You see, I'm citing one example. Let's say price of a tea 5 rupees, price of coffee 10 rupees per cup. In a locality, demand quantity demanded of tea was suppose 100 cup and quantity of coffee was suppose 100 cup. Now suppose price of coffee came down to 6 rupees per cup, whereas price of tea is as it is. There is no change. Then what happened? Some of the tea consumers will be changing their consumption from tea to coffee. Why? Those who are addicted to tea or those who are having special likingness towards tea, they will not change. And those who are minding for paying single pie extra, they will also not change. Because still 1 rupee difference is there, no? Now price of coffee is 6, price of tea is 5, 1 rupee difference is there. Although it is much cheaper than the previous situation, but now it is also there, dearer as compared to tea. So I told those two categories of people, consumer, will not change their consumption. One is those who are having special attraction towards tea, they will not change to coffee. And those consumers who are demanding tea because tea is 5 rupees and they are not ready to pay single rupee, a single pie more for anything, coffee or something, anything. So they will not go for coffee because coffee is now costing 6. But those who will be switching, who were indifferent between tea and coffee, so far as satisfaction is concerned, their rating coffee is bit higher from difference point of view, but they are unable to consume because difference was huge, double the price of tea. They were having likingness towards coffee, but coffee they didn't consume because price difference was huge. There are many people like this. So if the price of coffee comes down to 6 rupees, they will be switching their consumption from tea to coffee. Then what happened? There is no change in the price of tea, but demand for tea reduced. Demand for tea reduced because price of coffee has gone down, by which some of the tea consumers will be switching their consumption from tea to coffee. So then what happened? Demand for the tea is influenced by price of the coffee, change in the price of coffee. So we can say the three important factors that influence the demand for any commodity are price of the same commodity. If we write quantity demanded of X, QX, Q means quantity demanded, commodity is X, QX is a function of same commodities price, price of X, income of the consumers, and prices of the related commodities. Related commodities means what? That could be substitutes like tea and coffee, or complementary like fountain pen and ink, petrol and bike, etc. Whatever example we cited is tea and coffee, they are substitute. We can cite now complementary case. Let's say ink's price increased. Ink price of ink increased. What will happen to the demand for fountain pen? Price of ink increased. What will happen to the demand for fountain pen? As such, we are not demanding much fountain pen. Over that, if the price of ink will be increasing, it will be increases or decreases?
Decrease.
Decreases. Okay, so price of ink, if it is increasing, quantity demanded of a fountain pen will be decreasing. So these two are complementary. Complementary means what? They cannot be independently demanded. They are jointly demanded. Petrol and bike. If you are purchasing bike, you have to purchase petrol. If petrol price is much higher, suppose now it is around 100 rupees, it is suppose 200 rupees, definitely the use of bike will be less. Now it is not having that impact because lifestyle is less such that like that, and income level has gone up. So therefore, in spite of rising price of petrol, demand for bike has not come down. But theoretically, it should have happened. If price of petrol is going up, demand should come down. But it is not happening. Why? Because other things are changing. Income is changing, lifestyle is changing. People are not ready to take pain. They are not waiting to go by the public transport, by work. So that's right. So we can conclude that these are the three factors, three determinants, three you can say variables: price of same commodity, income of the consumers, and prices of the related commodities that influence the demand for any commodity. Okay. So then we will go to define change in demand, change in demand versus change in quantity demand. We have discussed now that demand for any commodity is influenced by many factors. Okay. So there we can write there function of price of the same commodity, income of the consumer, prices of the related commodities, and also other factors what you had pronounced. Many things: quality, availability, accessibility, monetary policy, many things are there. No. So what we can do now, we can segregate this all these factors into like this. Demand for any commodity is a function of the price of that commodity and other things. Okay, demand for commodity X is a function of that commodity's price and other things. Other things includes income of the consumer, prices of the related commodities, and all other things like preferences, taste, lifestyle, quality, accessibility, availability, many things what you have to follow. Now we will discuss if demand for X is changing, either increasing or decreasing, due to change in the price of the commodity.
Excuse me, sir.
Ah,
Sir, can you explain once more the previous slide, sir? I didn't understand, sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Here what we did, we have already discussed that. You just mute your mic. What we discussed that demand for any commodity QX is influenced by many factors, many variables. What are those? We have already discussed the last slide, like price of the same commodity PX, income of the consumer I, prices of the related commodities PR, and all other things. All other things include whatever you have mentioned, like quality, availability, accessibility, then the consumer's preference, lifestyle, many things. Then what we did, for the sake of explaining these two concepts, change in demand and change in quantity demanded, we segregated all those variables into two parts. One is price of the same product PX, and another thing is other things. Other things. There are other things include what? Other than price of X, all other variables which influence the demand for a commodity. So here we have I, PR, and also other things like preferences, lifestyle, availability, accessibility, all these things, quality, etc. Is it okay? Means demand for any commodity depends on multiple variables, and those variables we are putting in this way, that one is the price of the same commodity PX, and second is other things, and that other things include I, income, price of related commodities, and all other things, all other factors. This much only we have explained in this slide. Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Okay. Then now Suppose demand for commodity X is changing. I have put the arrow mark down and up means increasing, decreasing. There is increasing or decreasing due to suppose change in price of X. Price is changing, demand is changing. Then other things remaining constant. Other things remaining constant. Is a possibility. Second possibility could be demand is changing due to change in other things. The price of X remaining constant. Because we have already mentioned there, two factors are there. One factor is Px, second factor is other things. So if demand is changing, that will be changing either due to change in price, other things remaining constant, yeah, due to change in other things, price remaining constant. Okay. So when it happens, this first one is called as change in quantity demanded. And this is called as change in demand. And if in this case demand is increasing, extension of demand, expansion or extension, if it is decreasing, it's contraction. Here, if it is increasing, it is increasing demand. If it is decreasing, decreasing demand. So change in quantity demanded is of two types. One is expansion or extension demand. If demand is increasing due to change in price of that commodity, other things remaining constant. If other things remaining constant due to change in price, demand for that commodity is decreasing, falling, then it's contraction of demand. On the other hand, if demand is changing, other things, price of the commodity remaining unchanged due to change in any of the other factors, like suppose income changes, for which demand for the commodity changes, price is remaining unchanged, then that is called as a change in demand. So change in demand means fluctuation in demand due to fluctuation in any of the factors in the other things other than the price of the same commodity. And in this case, if demand is increasing due to other things, price of the commodity remaining unchanged, it is increasing demand. If demand is coming down due to other things, price of the commodity remaining unchanged, this is decreasing demand. So could you follow change in demand and change in quantity demanded? Change in quantity demanded has bifurcated, has been bifurcated, expansion, extension, and contraction. Similarly, change in demand has been bifurcated, increase in demand and decrease in demand. Is it okay?
Yes.
So it's less confidence we are telling. Okay, what we can do, we will have a pause here because after discussing the demand law, probably you'll be getting it very easily. We will have a pause over here. You will make me remind me subsequently after discussing the law of demand. We will have a pause because the way you are saying yes, it is lacking confidence. Okay. We will now rather discuss the law of demand. This concept will be resuming after this one. We explained meaning of demand, definition of demand, then factors that influence demand. So finally, we identified three important factors. What are those? Qx is a function of price of X, price means some commodity, income of the consumers, and prices of the related commodities. These are the three factors which influence the demand for any commodity mostly. But law of demand establishes the relationship between price of the commodity and its quantity demanded. Other things remaining constant. Hence, in this law of demand, we will have this function. Qx is a function of only price of X. In the background, other things have been put constant. Other things means what? Income of the consumers, prices of the related commodities, and also all other factors like lifestyle, preferences, quality, or other things remain constant. Okay. So, as per this law, anybody wants to tell something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell.
So here you have written QX, that is the quantity of demand. So the function is of PX is called.
Which one? PX. Okay, PX. You are not listening properly, probably. QX is demand for quantity demanded for X is a function of PX. PX means price of the commodity X. The commodity we are considering is X commodity. So demand for X, Q means quantity demanded. QX is a function of price of X, means price of the same commodity. I, income of the consumers, and PR, prices of the related commodities. That could be substitute, that could be complementary.
Okay, so got it, sir. So I was little bit confused in the PX and PRs.
Okay. PX and PR. Now, in case of law of demand, we are going to establish the relationship between two things. One is price of commodity and its demand. Other things remaining constant, because demand for any commodity depends on many things. So if you are going to highlight the importance of only one variable which influences the demand, then other factors you need to assume constant. Otherwise, you cannot find the relation. So therefore, Qx is a function of a Px, other things remaining constant. And the law is like this: ceteris paribus, one clause is there, ceteris paribus, the meaning is other things remaining constant. Other things remaining constant. Ceteris paribus, there is an inverse relationship between price of a commodity and its quantity demanded. This is the law. Ceteris paribus, yeah, other things remaining constant. There is an inverse relationship between price of a commodity and its quantity demanded. My handwriting is not good because of I'm writing on my fingertip. Try to upload it. If you find any confusion while reading this one, just ask me. Okay. I don't have that pen to write. I'm writing on my finger. So ceteris paribus, there is an inverse relationship between price of a commodity and its quantity demanded. So other things remaining constant. Price of a commodity and its quantity demanded are inversely related. It means if price increases, quantity demanded decreases, and if price decreases, quantity demanded increases. Okay, so here we are making the price as independent, quantity demanded as dependent. If price changes, what happens to demand? But if you reverse the relationship, cause and effect relationship, the law will not be operating. Let's say demand for any commodity increases. What will happen to price? Demand for any commodity increased. What will happen to price?
It will decrease.
Price will increase because the sellers will
Price will increase.
decrease. What are you telling? Demand increased. Demand for any commodity increased.
Sir, price
What?
will increase.
Price will increase because the sellers will be taking advantage of that one. They will charge high price. So they are directly related now. But while we talk about the law of demand, we will go in this way. Price is the cause, demand is the effect. Price is the independent variable, demand is the dependent variable. If you alter the cause and effect relationship, demand law will not be operative. Okay, so ceteris paribus, there is an inverse relationship between price of a commodity and its quantity demanded. It means other things remaining constant. If price of a commodity increases, its quantity demanded will decrease. Or if price of a commodity decreases, its quantity demanded will increase. So this is the law. Okay, so we will make a table of this one, and this table is called as demand schedule. It means the tabular presentation of the law of demand is demand schedule. We will have price of X, demand for X. So price of X 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Let's suppose you are having 100, 90, let's say 70, let's say 30, 70. Means price increased from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50, and demand decreased from 100 to 90 to 70 to 30 to 30. So as per demand law, price is increasing, demand is decreasing. So tabular presentation of law of demand is demand schedule, which contains varied prices and their corresponding demands. Demand schedule is of two types. One is individual demand schedule. Individual demand schedule. Second is market demand schedule. In this presentation, what we have shown here, it is for one individual. Let's say individual A. This is the individual's A's demand schedule. Means when price was 10, demand he was demanding 100. When price was 20, he was demanding 90, and so on. Similarly, we'll be having another individual, suppose B, whose demand schedule is like this: 10, 20, 30, 40, and demand for X is equal to, let's say, 50, 30, 55, 20, 10. So price increase, demand decrease. So this is the demand schedule for individual B. When it comes to market demand schedule, it is nothing but aggregation of all the individual demand schedule. So if there are two individuals only consuming commodity X, then what we will do? We will find market demand schedule as price of X 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and demand for X will be 100 plus 50, 150. If there are more individuals, then we will again add that. Then 90 plus 30, 1. 70 plus 25, 95. 30 plus 20, 50. And 20 plus 10, 10. So this is the market demand schedule. Is it clear? No response?
Sir, A and B are two individuals.
Yeah, A and B are two individuals.
Yes.
So we are adding all the individuals' demand to have the market demand. So yeah, similarly, suppose 20 individuals are there consuming one product, then all 20 individuals' demand will be added. Okay.
So in this, our QX is the demand for a consumer in A and B, na?
Yeah, where this one in the last case, this QX means demand for A plus B. A plus B.
Okay, sir.
Sir, in the last one, it should be 30.
30. Very good. It's 30. Okay. Then we'll have the demand curve.
Sir, can you show the previous slide?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So demand curve is diagrammatic or graphical presentation of the demand schedule. So you can have your individual demand curve, your market demand curve, both you can have. If you present this table in diagram, yeah, graph, you will get individual demand curve for A. If you present this one, you will get individual demand curve for B. And if you present this one, you will be getting market demand curve. Market demand curve. Okay. So generally, we talk about the market demand curve because when you talk about price, commodities price and its demand, it is all about the demand in the market achieved. So if you plot the, let's say you got the price and demand like this, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and demand suppose you got 150, let's say, then 120 suppose, then let's say 90, then let's say 50, let's say 30. Okay. So what you do, you just plot this in a diagram or a graph. But here there is a difference. While we take the plane like this to this plane, so x-axis, horizontal axis, is presenting which variable? Dependent variable or independent variable? In mathematics, you know that the horizontal axis is carrying
Independent.
independent. Very good. Because this is nothing but y as a function of what? So x we are taking here means it is presenting the independent variable, it is presenting the dependent variable. But here in economics, we will be taking the other way around. Means we will be taking here Q, demand, here we will be taking price. Because Q is depending upon price here, Q is dependent variable, contradicting the traditional or conventional mode. While it was there was a debate between the mathematicians and economists. They said that it is wrong way of presenting the thing, because in the horizontal axis you are taking the dependent variable, but you should have taken independent variable. But economists said that it's okay if it is wrong you are telling, just show the literature where it is proving that this way of presentation is wrong. But they could not find any literature behind this. Just that was a practice. A practice was there. As per the practice, as per the convention, they are taking x, independent variable on the horizontal axis. They have been following this one. They could not show this one. Therefore, since then, economists have been presenting in this way. So there is no confusion now. Mathematicians have also accepted this. That means on the horizontal axis, we'll be taking the dependent variable, and independent variable will be taken on the vertical axis. Okay. Now, if you plot these pairs of values, what you have got in the demand schedule. So price is from 10 to 50, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and demand is from 30 to 150. Means you can write here 50, here 100, here 150. Okay, so first combination is 10 and 150. So 10 and 1 is here, it will be. Second is 20 and 120. 20 and 120 somewhere here. Then 30 and 90. Somewhere here it will be. 40 and 50. Then 50 and 30. So you got the points, coordinates. As you join them, whatever you get is the demand curve. So if you look at this, it is sloping downward from left to right, which indicates that P and Q are inversely related. Okay. So finally, we got the demand curve, a downward sloping curve like this. Q, P, this is demand curve, downward sloping curve. It means there is inverse relationship between P and Q. As P is more, P is increasing, demand is decreasing. Okay. So finally, we got the demand curve like this. At point E, the combination of price and demand is P1 and Q0. At point A, the combination is P0 and Q1. Means as price came down from P1 to P0, the demand increased from Q0 to Q1. Okay, so you can say that the demand curve slopes downward from left to right, indicating that there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity. Okay, is it okay? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Then, tell.
sir, we are representing price in terms of rupees.
Yeah.
We are representing. So
Yeah.
we are representing demand in terms of.
Depending upon the product. If you exchange a solid item, suppose in kg, quintals, depends.
Okay, sir.
Whatever product you are talking of, if it is solid, means suppose rice, you can write kg of rice, quintals of rice. If it is clothes, meter of clothes and all. So depending upon the product you are talking of, so that unit will be presented here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So then the next point of this law of demand is exception. Exceptions of demand law. So that we'll discuss in the next class. Exception is what? The situations where this law of demand will not be operative. Means price is increasing, demand is not coming down. Price is decreasing, demand is not increasing. Just think of this. Don't refer to any source. Just think of it, because I want that you apply your IQ. And in the next class, you just tell what could be the possible situations, points in which the law of demand will not be operative. Means in spite of an increase in price, demand is not falling. In spite of a decrease in price, demand is not increasing. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So in the next class, we'll resume from this. Resume from this one.
Yes, sir.
So just a couple of minutes, adjust the documents. One zero one.
Present, sir.
26,
Yes, sir.
58,
Present, sir.
111, 134,
Present, sir.
119,
Present, sir.
1206,
Present, sir.
1 to 35,
Yes, sir.
1 to 46,
Present, sir.
253,
Present, sir.
268,
Present, sir.
315,
Present, sir.
348,
Present, sir.
397, 399,
Present, sir.
Present, sir.
427,
Present, sir.
434,
Present, sir.
467,
Present, sir.
148,
Present, sir.
539, 603, 165,
539 present.
okay, 165, 663,
Present, sir.
673,
Present, sir.
168, 1883,
Sir.
885,
Present, sir.
910, 939.
Sir,
9
present, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, 160 present.
Hello.
Sir,
One,
168 present.
what are you doing? Okay. 985, 2005,
Present, sir.